Nice. Okay, great. Ah, awesome. All right, so let's get started. You ready? So today we're going to be going
Yes, yeah,
over
I'm ready.
the
I'm ready.
top 10. This is the end of 2018 year awards for gaming. So disclosure before we get started on our top 10 list here with Kirk, I think it's important to note that other streamers probably have played more games than we have. So
Yeah.
yeah, so mine are going to be based just on the games I've either played or watched. I did a criteria. I made it watch at least 10 hours of gameplay in order for it to qualify, because I've seen some other games, but if I didn't watch enough of it, I don't consider myself knowledgeable enough on it to be willing to put it on the list.
Yeah, I kind of went. I've played myself rather than knowing what's good because
Right,
I kind of want to personalize it just ever so slightly.
right. So that's how I'm going to be doing mine, full disclosure, just so everybody's aware of that. But let's get started. Do you want to go first with your 10, or do you want me to hit my 10 first, Kirk?
I think,
You want me to go for it?
yeah,
Okay.
my
So
10, maybe your 10, my 10. Yeah, let's
my
do that.
10, this was really hard. I think the first 5 or 6 maybe were pretty easy for me. 7, 8, 9, and 10 were kind of difficult. So my 10 was the Spyro remake, actually. I'm a biased observer here. I didn't play it. I watched the gameplay. I did watch a lot of the gameplay. It stuck true to the
Yeah,
original game, which I loved, and I'm pretty sure I beat all those Spyro games multiple times over. And it is beautiful. The new Spyro game is beautiful. So if that was something that you played way back when as a platformer, I think it still holds as an amazing game. So that is my number 10. What about you, Kirk?
yeah. I'm sad I didn't actually put Spyro in my top 10, but my
Oh,
top 10, um,
Take it
yeah,
back!
my top 10, number 10 is Insane It Trilogy. So I bought that on the Switch because that came out this year, I
uh-huh,
believe.
uh-huh.
Got it pretty much as it came out. And yeah, it's just like give me a massive, like as you said with the Spyro, like a massive throwback to like well, like when I was a child and I kind of played it versus and I looked at it against like first version, I was just like, oh, what I'm seeing now is what I pictured when I was a kid.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's just very nostalgic.
Yep, that's why Spyro got on the list for me. Just such a good
Yeah.
game, so beautiful. Okay, number 9 for me was the ESO Summerset edition. So I don't think the MMORPG genre right now is very strong. It hasn't been strong for a while, which is why most people don't really play them anymore. There's just nothing outside of, I mean, World of Warcraft, which I don't personally like very much either. It's just too cartoony for me. Same reason why I hate Fortnite, among other reasons. But I
Yeah.
thought the ESO Summerset, which I've only dived into a little bit, is actually pretty good. All things considered, I did want an MMORPG on the list, but most of them are so bad. This one was good enough for me to put it on there. So yeah, so ESO Summerset for me. What about you, Kirk?
For my number 9, it's going to be a very unpopular choice because I know a lot of people the game, but Dragon Ball Fighters, like when that came out back in
Yeah,
January, I was just on it for like hours. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm a fan of Dragon Ball,
Why would
and I
people?
love my
Why would
Fighters
people not
game.
like that?
It's just
That's
it's
a good
not a
game.
very popular game, is all.
I
Like
guess. I
I
think
know
it's a
many
good
people
game.
are like, I'm gonna get it, and then when it came out, like nobody ever bought. Okay,
Interesting.
so I was hoping to play with my friends, and then
Interesting. I think that's a good
apparently
choice, though.
my stream is free.
I've heard really good things about that game. I haven't played it personally, but I've heard really good things, so I'm surprised that more people wouldn't like that one. My number 8 is Far Cry 5. So here's my thing about Far Cry 5. It's pretty much just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's copy and paste the same
Yeah,
bullcrap objectives in different sections of this family's. If you haven't played it, it's, I forget the family name, but it's like the sister, the brother, and then the main guy. You like jump from district to district or region to region, doing the same crap over and over again. But it does it so well. I really do think what it does really well. So even though the story fell short of former Far Cry games and it doesn't have the same appeal that way, I think the mechanics, the gameplay mechanics, are amazing. So I put Far Cry still on the list, even though that one I kind of cringe when I put that in there.
Yeah.
What about you?
Don't feel bad. My number 8 is a game called Overcooked 2. It's kind of
Interesting.
something you play when you have friends and there's people around, sort of thing. I've played like co-op, local, lost some people, like just to kill some time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sat on the train, etc. Just a really
Sat
fun.
on the train and played?
Sat there, must switch. Yeah, it's a really fun sort of game. It's kind of easy to get used to because it's a matter of just moving and then pressing a matter of 2 other buttons.
Mm.
Actually, no, I think it's up the food and you pop it down and then you cut. And then you just gotta make these meals together, which is kind of fun, actually. It's a nice little time waster.
Oh, that sounds like Stardew Valley. Is it one of those grindy
No,
games?
nothing like Stardew
It's
Valley.
not grindy?
No, it's like
I can't do the grindy.
I'm trying to think like the way to sort of describe it. Like, you spawn in the map and then you have to work together to create these meals because they kind of like separate the kitchen,
Uh-huh.
make extra challenges in the game. So it's not just a matter of you're making the food, I'm gonna cook it, and then we're gonna serve it. Like you have to do that, and then the map like sort of like moves around, and then you have to like wash the dishes and make sure the dishes are on the side.
That
And, yeah.
sounds pretty grindy. That sounds like
So it's kind
it's
of
like
like
Simsy, or when you have like I don't know. It's like okay, it's time to wash the dishes. It's time to plant the grass. It's time to mow the grass. It's time to eat some food. It's time to go to sleep. One of those
Yeah.
games where it reminds you when it's
Yeah.
time to do certain things. I can't stand those
Yeah,
games.
like-
I'm like, I don't want to eat right now. I want to do something else. Like my ADHD doesn't allow
That
me to
game
do
is
do
if
that.
you don't work together, it will not work out. It's all
Oh,
about teamwork in that game.
Interesting choice.
So,
So far, we don't
it
have
needs to
any
be
of
a
the
make
same
or break.
games. Okay, let's see. My number 7 was Pokemon Go Eevee. I'm still currently playing this game.
Okay.
And when I started it, I hated it. When I started, I absolutely hated it because I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting it to be the exact same as the original. I guess I didn't research it enough before playing it to know that it's literally just like Pokemon Yellow over again. But
yeah, you did say.
I know I was so angry, but the more I've played it, the more it's created that nostalgia again for me, and I think it's really really well done to the point where if a new generation of kids were to play this game, I think they'd fall in love with it again, just like we did. So I think it's really well done in terms of matching where the kids are at now, but keeping it the exact same. And so like adapting to throwing the Pokeball and the graphics and the cartoonish pieces of it and the humor, and I just think it does a really good job of adapting to today. So it still made the list for me.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere on my list.
Maybe.
But I do agree. I'll talk about Pokemon later as it comes out. Did I put it? I did. Yeah, just making sure I did. So my next up in Forza Horizon 4. Not many people know, but I am a huge Forza fan. I absolutely love the Horizon series ever since I started playing it back in a couple of years ago. Absolutely, like I've spent hours on the game. I think Forza Horizon 2, I nearly 100% it. Same with Forza Horizon 3. But yeah, I just like driving, smashing through things, like absolutely ruining my car, and and the fact that they've got all like these season changes and stuff in it.
Yeah, the graphics
made like the game go a step above what I ever thought it could be, and it's just
the graphics are incredible. That's for sure. The thing about the car games, I don't have a single car game on here. I haven't liked a car game since like Midnight Club 2 or whatever it was on the PlayStation 2. Like it's been a while since I've really loved a car game, and I just can't get into the realistic ones. I just can't. I drive my car to work every day, and that's enough for me. Like I don't need more realistic car driving when I get home. I don't know. This is kind of how I am. But I didn't know you liked Forza. That's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I used to have like posters and stuff. I was that person.
So 6 for me. I got Black Ops 4. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, go.
Okay. Yeah, so I got Black Ops 4 for my number 6. I think it's the only multiplayer game I have on my list. I don't generally like multiplayer games, mostly because I suck at shooters, A, and B, it's really hard to get people to consistently play, and that annoys the
Yeah,
crap out of me because I want like a squad that
yeah.
I can like hook
It's
up
not
with.
like
Single player, I can dive into it whenever I want, wherever I want, and it's easier for me. But I think Black Ops is the first multiplayer game I've loved since I can't remember if Halo 5 came. Gears of War 3 came out after Halo 5, right? One of those two was the most recent of the
PS3 came after
multiplayer games I
Halo
love.
5. Um, PS3.
I want to say
I
Gears
think it
3
might have been
came out more recently.
before.
Whichever one it is. The
It's
point is,
PS4 now.
oh, is it 4? 4. I'm sorry, 4. The point is, it's been a
Yeah,
long time
my
since I've been
stream is really
interested
freezing.
and liked a multiplayer game, but I think Black Ops is amazing. Battlefield 5 is not on my list, and it's garbage. Is it beautiful? Yes. I don't know if you guys have seen the graphics for that game. It is beautiful.
Yeah, the game looks really pretty, but
Oh my god. There's
yeah,
flying
it's just
tanks. There's grenades that levitate from the ground, like land grenades that will hover above the ground and detonate randomly. It is the most glitchy, annoying multiplayer game I've ever seen. And I didn't like Destiny. I didn't play too much of it. I played the original one. I just didn't really like it. So this for
yeah.
me jumped on the list because it was for me again not as a big multiplayer guy. I'm an RPG story guy. It was a great game. What about you, Kirk?
I just need to apologize. Stream is like way behind and apparently lagging really bad.
Oh
I don't
no.
know how to sort this out right now. But I will try and sort it out for when I am streaming Prey later. So I am really sorry. My internet just must be having a bad time, or maybe my dad's sort of using it on. But it kind of like I do have good internet. It spikes really low sometimes, and it just takes a massive impact on the games, which is why I don't really play multiplayer. Funnily enough,
Ah,
for my number 6, I did put the same mainly because of the gameplay that I have seen from it. It's
you did Black Ops
like I
6?
think I've mentioned in a couple. Yeah, Black Ops 4 for number 6. So we had the same on number 6 for our personal choices.
What?
Yeah, I agree to that game just because like I just love the zombies aspect of it. The new multiplayer kind of like I like yeah, it just seems really cool. The only thing I don't like is Battle Royale. Like that bit of the game can just get lost.
Oh, the blackout
The
part?
rest absolutely solid. Yeah. Yeah, just like I don't know. It just seemed like I played and it was just like the battle royale part, and I was like, I just really don't enjoy this sort of gameplay, which is why I
Right,
don't play
right,
anything like PUBG or Fortnite. Like it's just not my style of game.
right.
But some people enjoy it. But yeah, I'm just one of those who don't. But I did put it up there just because it's like, cool. Like a
Yeah,
really cool game. And if I could play multiplayer, then I
then
definitely
you would play, yeah. So we're in the same boat there, it sounds like, with multiplayer. Now, I
yeah.
hated Blackout 2. Sensi knows this. Sensi's in my chat right now. And Sensi knows
No.
I hated Blackout. I hated it because I felt like I was running around for 30 minutes doing nothing but looting houses. But I jumped back into it recently, and I like it now. And I feel so guilty about giving it so much garbage for the longest time. And it's the only, again, I hated battle royales just like you did until
Yeah.
I really started diving into it, and until I could play with somebody. I hate solo. Solo is not as fun. But when you get a group of
No.
people you
So
actually
it's never really
know,
that fun.
it's actually pretty fun. And I hate that I just said
I
that because I
mean,
don't want to support battle royale. I really don't. I don't want that to become what multiplayer is.
yeah,
Um,
that's kind of what I feel like multiplayer is, and who hasn't done that is Battlefield, and they're
yep.
like the only game that multiplayer wise is a shooter that's always like done really well. They've just started to go really down with like game releases. I've found not many
Yeah.
people are playing Battlefield anymore. I go back and I play like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 myself. I don't play it because I don't. But yeah, I think that's where Battlefield have kind of lost their sort of
The edge.
audience, I guess, because a lot of
Yep.
people are into Battle Royale, and
I still think they would have done fine if they didn't have hovering tanks and mines that float. I still think it would have been a successful game.
yeah, there are a couple of things wrong with the game.
But I mean, they even have it to where, like, I don't want to go too much into this, but they even have it to where you can set up a strike team to launch missiles on the respawn area before the team can even like begin running. Before they can even sprint 10 yards, they can be hit by missiles. And I'm like, are you like, what are you supposed to do? I don't know. There's just a lot of bugs in that game that drive me crazy. All right, number 5. Number 5 for me was Spider-Man. I did not play Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
But I did watch
Okay.
Spider-Man. And here's my problem with it. Here's why it's number 5. I even thought about pushing it back to maybe 6 and maybe flipping it with Black Ops. My issue with Spider-Man is it's basically Far Cry in the sense that it's copy and paste with every damn section you go to, and I hate that. But just like Far Cry, what it does really, really well. The fighting mechanics in that game are amazing. It is beautiful. The story was a shocker. The story is really, really good in that Spider-Man game.
Okay, no spoilers.
What's up?
No spoilers.
Okay, no spoilers. I'm not going to say anything about the story, but let's just say that I was shocked. That was actually one of the best stories I got all year, and I did not see that coming from a Spider-Man game. So for that reason, it is number 5 on my list. What about you, Kirk?
I haven't really looked into the Spider-Man game. Maybe I should consider.
Yes.
So, for my number 5, I did Pokemon Let's Go.
There we go.
So I play it, and I think it looks really fun. It's just yellow, but graphics a little bit more easier on the eye. Like
Yeah, I'd say
took
so.
one yellow the other night, and after an hour I have to like turn the stream off. Yeah, but yeah, it was really harsh on the eyes. But then the newer version, obviously, it's a little bit more friendlier and it's more attractive to look at. Like it's more appealing. Like it's something that you go, oh, that's Pokemon. It's nice and colorful.
Oh,
It's
that's Pokemon.
great in
Nice.
a sense because it's still nostalgic for people, us who've been playing it since like the beginning of time. And
Since
yeah,
its origins.
it's just
yeah.
like replaying a game that we've loved for years. Like I've got Pokemon Yellow in a little cartridge that I play a lot. When I used to catch a train 2 or 3 days a week. I used to like play Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Emerald, or like I had like all of them. But Pokemon Yellow was always my favorite.
Is it because of Pikachu?
So it was kind of like, yeah. No, I don't even like Pikachu.
Good.
Pikachu's like the worst Pokemon.
Peekapoo. Yeah, he's the worst. Super overrated.
Squirtle Squad.
Squirtle Squad, that's right. Hashtag Squirtle Squad over here. If you've seen any of my streams of Pokemon, you know I'm not about that rat thing with electricity coming out of his butt. Not about it.
So yeah, that's why Pokemon Let's Go is in
Good choice.
there, because even though it's the same as they still added in the elements of the Switch controller as well, where you actually do interact with the game. You do have to throw the Pokeball,
Yep.
so it's not just as simple. Here it is. We've updated it so it looks prettier, and that's it. It's like we've added a couple new elements in it as well to keep it interesting, and then it gets the Pokemon fans interested into the Switch as well, which I think everyone should invest.
Since he says
The
Bulbasaur,
Switch console,
and
'cause they're
absolutely
absolutely
not.
fantastic.
Nobody likes Bulbasaur, Sensei. Yeah, okay, not to harp on it again because I want to move on, but I will say my biggest issue with the Pokemon game, why it wasn't higher on my list, why it was 7, was because they took out the battling system. If they would have kept the way you throw the Pokeball, but maintained the fact that you had to weaken it, because that's canon. If you watch the original Pokemon show, you have to weaken the Pokemon before you catch the damn thing. They took that out, and so for me, that was a big disappointment. Okay, number 4. For me, number 4 was Monster Hunter World. Oh, I like this game so much. I played, I don't know how many hours I played, a fair amount. I don't own the game, so I played it with, I borrowed other people's games or played at their place when I was with them. And it was really, really good. Now, I watched a ton of it, though. I watched a ton of it, and I love it. It is me in a nutshell. It's has a ton of RPG elements to it. It's freeing. It's fantasy. It's basically to me it was kind of like oh god, what was that game that came out last year on PS4 with the chick and the bow and the machines? I can't remember. It was so good.
Oh,
Horizon Zero Dawn. Yes, it was like Horizon Zero Dawn to me in a way, but free to go wherever you want and do whatever you want. It had the same feel to me, and I adore that game. I plan on I know it's old, but I do plan on purchasing that game and playing through that more, even though I've seen a ton of gameplay on it. So that was my number 4.
Awesome.
What about you, Kurt?
My number 4 is but Super Mario. I love Super Mario Party. Ever since I was a kid, I always gathered with siblings and we always played Super Mario Party. So when my sister bought it, like it was, I just went straight over to the house and we played Mario Party till like midnight. Like it was just a massive throwback, and they've updated the games, and yeah, it's just like it's really cool. So one of those games you can sit back, have fun, but then at the same time you can get like really angry. It's kind of like playing Monopoly with your family on a screen.
I've heard,
and they got like all the interactions with the controllers as well, and there's all sorts of games on like. And I just watching my sister get really angry over a game is just the most funniest thing you'll ever see.
Sibling rivalries are
Snapchat
fresh.
story.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's probably a good choice. I haven't played that one. Typically, okay, so here's the thing. I'm not a big Mario guy in general. Typically, those games are going to make my list anyway. But I do the old N64 Mario Party games. My brother's never probably going to see this this broadcast or the YouTube video on this. But that dude was obsessed with playing Mario Party. He still plays Mario Party. He's just obsessed with it.
Hashtag charity.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely, like
Nice, very nice. Thank you so much.
Destroys your soul.
Yeah, it's it could be rather depressing. Now, are the new ones as
oh my god.
what?
Columbus, look at you giving 5,000 bits.
Dang.
That is amazing. And
Look
it
at
goes
you.
amazing.
Look at you. Very
Shout out
nice.
to Plumbus. I am what a guy.
Your biggest fan, Plumbo.
What a guy. All about those charity biddies.
Big old charity biddies. Alright, my number 3 was Detroit Become Human. I did not play this game. I watched.
Know that game.
You don't know that game? I watched Co Carnage play this game. Co Carnage is my favorite streamer.
Okay.
And anyway, it's essentially, because since you don't know what it is, it's essentially just a giant story where it's like a movie that you play. So it's not really RPG in a sense, but your decisions make choices, but like the characters are predetermined, but there's tons of different outcomes, and there's like a decision tree after each level that explains what percentage of people chose what. It is amazing.
Okay.
It is me in a nutshell because it is so beautifully done. Just somebody, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, Google how they made that game. It's insane. It's basically like they made a Transformers movie and put it into a game. I mean, all the stuff that they did for it, just incredible. The best, just I don't know, story experience that I had this year. Really, 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 really good. I have lots of good things to say about it, but I don't want to harp on it for too long. What about you, Kirk? What do you got for 3?
What did I have I got? Oh, you're gonna hate me for this one. But for number 3, I put Fallout.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
Yes.
You put Fallout 76. She put Fallout 76 as number 3 on the top 10 games of 2018.
These are my personal choices.
Okay, I'm gonna hear you out.
Don't be nasty.
I'm gonna be quiet.
The reason why I put it there is because I know the game has so much more potential than the day it was released. Like, the concept of the game is great. People say that they wanted Fallout, 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout multiplayer form, but like we all knew that just wasn't going to happen. Like, there is no way that they could render with with NPCs inside of it, and it would just crash everything. There would be no stable servers. They would need so much work for that to happen, which is why I like the game that you still have missions to do, you still have events to do. There's so much exploring, and there's so many vaults there that you need to like kind of explore and get into. Like, so many people have just jumped on that game as an awful game. It actually work. Like, I don't know. I love the game. I think it's fantastic.
That's great. I'm happy for you.
There are some things that really do bug me, but at the end of the day, they are things that can be fixed, and I'm feeling confident in Bethesda.
You are Bethesda, by the way,
I'm probably
is
gonna get
probably my
so
favorite
many
company.
unfollows by now.
Listen. All I'm gonna say is I have something special for you and for our viewers later. We'll get to that about Fallout 76, but you're welcome to your opinion and you're entitled to it, and I respect it. Okay, number 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. Here's why it's number 2. Oh my God, you put it number 2, you didn't put it number 1. I put it number 2. It's lucky to even be number 2 for me, and here's why. I hate westerns. I hate movies that are in the
Oh, no.
Western scene.
I know.
I hate games that are in the Western scene. I hate everything. It's just boring to me. It's just super boring. If they would have taken the same engine and ideas and put it into basically anything else, it would be my game of maybe all time. But they put it in Westerns, and I hate Westerns. But it still has to be number 2 because it is so well done. That's the way a game is supposed to be. That is my favorite type of game, period. But it's a Western, so I dropped it to 2. So that's my number 2. I don't need to talk too much about Red Dead. Everyone knows about Red Dead. I'm not gonna kill people on all the great
I
things
wish
about
I
it.
could
But
play Red Dead. I'm just waiting for PC. Like, as soon as I can play that game,
Oh.
it's probably gonna be one of the top on my list.
I hate that they didn't put it on PC, and they're doing that because they want to double dip.
Yeah.
It's a money strategy, which is fine, but that's a hoe move. That's such a hoe
Like-
move. They didn't put it on PC.
If you haven't played it, play the Undead Red Dead. It's amazing. It's literally Red Dead, but with zombie people and zombie horses, and it's really cool. I remember playing it back when maybe 15,
Xbox 360.
16. It's
right?
yeah, just awesome. Yeah, back on the 360.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
that was a
cool.
great game.
I remember having my best friend over, and we were just like, "Oh my God, this game's so cool!" Like I borrowed it off my brother. So
That was a great game.
if you haven't played it, play it.
I agree. Yeah.
So my number 2 is Super Smash Bros. Oh, I love Super Smash Bros. It's just such a fun game, and I get very angry when I play as well. Get very mad. I threw my controller across the room the other day, and I have never
Wow.
ever. It's one of those games when you get like something just like you defeat the enemy and their health is almost gone, and then you go to hit them with that ultimate move, and then somehow they just like give you one little punch and you're gone.
One little punch.
Things like that is why I throw my controller in that game. The new Smash Bros with like every single fighter in it ever is really fun, and it's just like I go on my work breaks and I kind of just sit there and I play Smash Bros.
Oh,
and
I've
I
seen.
just try to lock all my characters. So
Yeah.
it's just nice.
I can't blame you at all for making that number 2. I haven't played it. I haven't
Yeah.
watched it. So, and like I said at the very beginning, I was only going to speak to games that I've watched at least 10 hours of gameplay on, or I played myself. But
Yep.
I bet it would have been on my list for sure. So I think that's a good choice. All right,
Yeah.
this is it.
Strong.
Y'all can pretty much guess
Number
it.
1, drum roll.
You can already get. I mean, you can guess this. God of War. If you would have taken Red Dead and put it in a God of War like environment, that would have been the best game. It would have been the best game. But God of War is more me in terms of environment, in terms of not necessarily in terms of gameplay, because I love Red Dead type of gameplay, but it's beautifully done, has great characters. For a game to be number 1 for me, you're going to learn that it has to have good storytelling, it has to have good character development, it has to have good gameplay, it has to be beautiful. Multiplayer's not going to make it on the top. Indie games aren't going to make it on the top. Like, it has to be like something over the top that meets those types of criteria for me. And God of War did everything. It made me care about the characters. It made me open my eyes for like the cinematography of it all. It had so many memes. Like, it was culturally it just blew up everything. The whole boy when that thing came out, boy. Everybody was on that train.
Any of that game.
Oh my gosh!
It really put me off from like watching anyone play it, because I was gonna watch Jacksepticeye play it, but then
Right.
I don't know. I just kind of went. I'm not sure. Just not sure. So I haven't watched it, but I know it's a game that
Oh my
definitely
god.
want to
A
get
lot
on
of people
this.
chose this as their game of the year, and rightfully so. God of the War does everything it wants to do. Everything it wants to do. Maybe you didn't want it to do it, but everything that it sought out to achieve, it achieved. And for that reason, it's the #1 game.
That's a strong choice.
Mhm.
I have heard many people talk about that game, and yeah,
As they
I
should.
strongly support that choice that you've made.
All right, let's hear it,
And
Kirk.
everyone probably knows what #1 is gonna be, because I have been harping on and on and on about it for the last couple of weeks. Everyone's seen me play it. Everyone is yeah, just you know, you've all watched me play it. You've all seen
Two.
my templates,
Oh.
and so you know what it's gonna be. It's still the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. So okay, so
Huge Tomb Raider fan.
so
Like,
how much of that
OG.
is biased and how much is that is objective?
I mean, I don't know. I've just loved everything about a Tomb Raider game that's ever. Cool. More donations from Bus.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Columbus.
Columbus is going all right. So we
Yeah.
got God of War #1 over here. We got Tomb Raider #1 over
Shadow of the
there.
Tomb Raider over here.
You didn't
yeah,
have.
I love the game. I thought the game was the story drew me in even more than Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's just I love the Square Enix makes of
Oh, they're
the
so
new
good.
the new updated Tomb Raiders. They just work so smoothly, and there's all these new sorts of equipment, and it's just it's really cool. Like there's always something interesting going on, and the whole Trinity thing is just I just can't wait for the next game. That
Yeah.
story is just I'm gonna be there again. Be
People
like,
definitely could have guessed
sit
that
down,
one with you for
let's
sure.
go.
Yeah, no doubt.
And obviously I've got my Tomb Raider every week now, so yeah.
So
Massive Tomb Raider
let's see.
fan.
Let's
Might be
recap
biased.
before we move on to the separate awards. It looks like we only have 1, 2, 3 games in common. No, 2 games in common.
Yeah, so we had the same 3 games, but only one of them was.
We had Pokemon Go, we had Black Ops, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. We definitely went across a broad span of games here together. I anticipated not the same order
we
by
did
any
have
means.
like old school games. So like whereas I had
That's
Crash,
true.
you had Spyro.
That's true. That's
So we
true.
had some,
Yeah.
I was gonna put Spyro up there, but then I decided to put Crash there instead.
Ah. All right. Well, let's move on to the one I've been waiting for. Yes. Okay. So can we start with most disappointing, please? Let's start with most disappointing of 2018. So this is the award.
Disappointing.
So let's
Okay.
let's give this a caveat. Kind of explain what that means. Most disappointing to me that doesn't mean worst game. It means it should have been something else. It should have been greater. It had the potential, it had the backing, and it wasn't there. It missed the mark. That to me is the most disappointing game. So it's not the worst game. For me, I'm so excited for this. For me, it's Fallout 76, and it's not even close. It is not even close. When you said, I mean, everybody saw it already, heard it, but when you said Fallout 76 was third on your list, I almost shit a brick. This game, I love the Fallout series, but this game is a hunk of trash.
My heart.
It's a hunk of trash. And I know everyone's been jumping on it. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not saying it's the worst game. You can play it and have fun. It has facets of it that are enjoyable. But what it should have been is not even in the same stratosphere of what it is. And I just want to play a quick 60-second clip of my favorite my favorite streamer, Co Carnage, talking about this game. Now, for those who don't know Co, he's like the most positive human being ever. He will literally block out people from his stream. And he has over 10,000 people watching him at a time sometimes. He'll literally just say, sorry, if you're a non-sub and you don't understand the rules of my channel, which are to always be positive, you need to leave. He harps on this game, and he loves Bethesda. He has friends that work at Bethesda. He harps on this game for a good 5 minutes, just going to town on how bad it is. And I just give me 60 seconds to play this, please. I'm going over here. Let me. Oh, baby, this is what I wanted.
Okay.
You done? Like hurting me about my
Hold on,
favorite game.
40% blows my mind.
Oh.
They
So-
wanted
Yeah,
it to be
I am
more
again really
accessible
sorry.
and
My
immersive.
internet is just really bad, and I need to reset it. But
And
I don't really
the
want to do it
thing
mid-game.
there is,
So you guys are just gonna have to cope with
it
for now.
takes
I will
all
sort it out
of
as soon as
10 seconds of
Before-
thought to go, wait a second. It's more immersive when the players broadcast audio they
By the way,
don't
I'm with
want
Virgin.
broadcasted.
Apparently, the fastest.
It's more
Fibre optic-
immersive when I can hear somebody
Well, in the
on their
world, in
mechanical
the UK, in
keyboard
Cardiff,
clicking
it's
away
actually
when
the
they're not
fastest
talking. It's
internet in
more
my area.
immersive
And this
that I
is
hear a
the
couple
fluctuating that
arguing
I
over
get
the phone when they
complaints
don't
of
even know they're
time.
broadcasting.
Perfect. If I could tell them
Like,
to go
again,
watch my stream right
it
now,
takes
then I would, because they would
basically
evidently say
zero
that it's not
thought
perfect.
to understand that
And I definitely do not hit the 100 meg.
whoever made that
I-
decision should never be allowed to make decisions about multiplayer decisions again at Bethesda. Like anyone
Everyone
involved
thinks I'm on beta.
with the push to talk debacle of 2018 should be removed from that part of Bethesda game making, and not allowed back in. Like push them out the door and lock it behind them, and tell them to go get lunch, and then when they come back, just clean out their cubicle and act like they never worked there. So I don't know, man. Whew, it really is just they should never be allowed to make games.
Yeah. Well, about my
Okay,
giveaway, you have to be followed.
that is what I wanted to show. Some of it you probably couldn't hear, and that is fine. But he went on to go. I mean, he went on for a good 5 minutes about how awful the game is compared to what it should have been. I highly suggest going to watch that video. It's episode 7 of his playthrough of Fallout 76, and it's back towards the end. It's like 20 minutes on. It may have even been 10 minutes if I'm ranting about it. But a lot of the things he brought up are valid. For example, push to talk. How the hell do you not have push to talk to start your game? The reasoning was, and you'll hear him explain that, the reasoning was that, and I'm talking to you too, Kirk, and you can debate me if you like, but the reason they didn't put push to talk into the game is because they wanted it to be more immersive. What is immersive about me playing a game with people and I can hear a baby crying in the background? What is immersive about me playing a game and then the girl comes and says, "Hey, honey, dinner's ready"? You have to have push to talk in a game. You cannot just have you just hear everything from everybody at all times. It doesn't work that way. The lighting, there's multiple times in the game when the lighting literally makes no sense. There's times when you're walking down the street and everything that just gets depixelated just disappears or just becomes a blank slate. The building system.
There are some absolutely massive bugs with the game.
There's
I do agree.
a
I
god
do see
bug.
why people, I do see why people hate on the game, but I'm trying to see past the bugs myself.
But that's like saying I have a broken leg. Let me see past the broken leg. No, look, you need to heal your broken leg because it's broken and it sucks.
I mean, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I understand it has the potential, but they haven't fixed. It's not there yet, and the game is just.
I know, which is why I believe that they should have waited before they released it.
But they didn't, and that's the reality of it. And so they have to be judged on what they actually did, not what they could have done. And they released it, and it wasn't ready. All right, so that's my most disappointing.
They probably needed another year on it at least. Another year, I think they could have had on that game, and it would have been a lot better than what it was when they released. The beta was way too short. They needed that at least a month with
it's still beta.
The massive difference of the game. This fall, they needed at least a month of beta from the general public, not just a closed beta. Where because I think it actually was a closed beta because I had a serial key. So they had a closed beta, but they didn't do an open beta, which I think is where they kind of went wrong with it because obviously. And probably the hardcore Fallout fans, and because it was only over a certain amount of days at certain times, it was kind of hard to kind of dive into the game. On myself streaming a lot and just kind of playing it as much as I could, but timing was just really poor. Even until 2 in the morning, tired for work and stuff the next day. I think that the way that they handled their beta could have been a lot better, where they could have been X amount of days, anytime, any place, and you could play. you know, the alpha, then the closed beta, then the before the game was released. And most companies do have it like that, even if they kept it in an early access mode. Certain people, you know, like paid to, I don't know, like most games do, they have like early access. It's like a closed early access. But really needed more opinions from the public of people who had played the game for a longer time, but they just didn't let people have access to it like they should. So I do get where you're coming from.
I'm good. I got it out. I got more, but I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it slide off the shoulder
Let's
because I'm a big Fallout
move
fan.
on to.
Okay, what was your most disappointing game?
We'll move on to mine.
Yeah.
So, because I think it is the worst, and it is very, very disappointing. When I saw the trailers, I was really hyped. Like all of my friends, we were all just like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing! We're gonna actually have like a nice co-op sort of, not story mode, but like a mission-based game where we can all play it together, and it'll be fun because it looks like a really fun game." And the game I put down is Sea of Thieves. That game just absolutely disappointed me. I was just absolutely gobsmacked with when it came out, how poor the game was, how little content it had, and in general, it was just, yeah, just really bad.
It's a good choice.
Really bad game.
That's a good choice.
I'm kind of glad that I went with the Xbox Game Pass thing on computer. £8 for the month, and I got to play it because it was on there. If I had paid £50, they would be hearing from me. It was just so little content. You had like free you could do when it first came out.
That game was trash.
It was like the game was completely before. It was like not even alpha when it came out.
Yeah, that's a good
Why I
choice.
put it there.
That's a good choice. I can't harp you on that one. I didn't even play it. It looked so bad. I watched other people play it. I
Yeah.
think I watched Angry Joe play it, and it just, oh Jesus, I couldn't even get my
The only
hands
reason
on it.
is because I was so excited for it, and I thought I'm not going to buy it. I'll get this pass if I like it.
Smart.
So I'm glad that I did.
Do not. Okay, I need a segue just for a second about that. Stop pre-ordering games, people. Like, if you don't know for sure that it's going to be like a game that you'll love, if it's not, I don't know how you judge that, but if you're not sure, wait. These companies know
Wait,
you're going
yeah.
to pre-order, and so they're making crap games. They're taking shortcuts, knowing that you will spend your money before trying it. Stop feeding into that. A lot of
Yeah.
companies are doing this now. You have to help other gamers out by doing your part and not pre-ordering unless you're certain that it's going to be what you want it to be. End of story. All right, do we want to go to best multiplayer or best story next?
Up to you.
All right, let's do best multiplayer. This one's going to be easy for me. It's obviously BO4. It's the only multiplayer game that even made it on my list. I'm not going to go into too much because we've already talked about it. But again, to me, it's the smoothest. Battlefield 5 is just clunky, and I hate clunky things. I hate when things aren't finished. You may not like Blackout, and that's fine. I didn't like Blackout either. For the majority of the time I played it, I've played Black Ops 4. I don't play Blackout. I play multiplayer, and I still love it. I think if you're a zombie fan, it's still good. I think if you're a multiplayer fan, it's still good. And if you are a Battle Royale fan, it's still good. So for me, that was the best multiplayer game of the year.
I didn't have anything purely because I don't really play it myself.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really much that I could say on that. The only multiplayer I have played this year is stuff that was released last. So I played things like Splatoon and Overwatch.
We played some Left 4 Dead.
Destiny. So
Which is old.
yeah, some Left 4 Dead. Like
Yeah.
I've played multiplayer this year, so I feel like if I said something on that, I wouldn't really have much of an opinion. So
That's fair. All right, so let's move to
it's not
story.
anything for me.
For me, and again, this was on my list, Detroit Become Human. Best story of the year. I thought about doing God of War. I thought about it. I didn't. I went with Detroit Become Human. Just so good. Even if you're not going to play the game, if you don't want to purchase the game, don't. That's fine. Find your favorite streamer, somebody who did play it, and watch their playthrough of it. I highly suggest Carnage. He is my favorite streamer. He does primarily RPG and story-based games, and he does a wonderful stream, wonderful playthrough of Detroit Become Human. He really likes to dissect things just like me, and you'll see why this game is so amazing. So if you haven't, just do it. Just trust me, if you like stories, this is the one.
Everyone already knows my stories. And if
What
you
about you,
don't
Greg?
know, you don't know me. That story is obviously Shadow.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've already talked about that game, so I don't really want to go crazily into it again. But just the ending of the story really did throw me. Sorry, I said ass. It was like this crazy fight, and yeah, it was just something that I didn't expect to happen, but something I thought might have happened. It was kind of like, is this gonna happen? Is that gonna happen? Kind of just like kept in what will be the end.
I'm gonna have to play that one. Is that one on PC? I don't know if I want to play that on PC. To me, that's more of a console game. It's on Xbox. I'm sure it's on Xbox.
Yeah, it's a game that could be comfortably played on console because you don't really need the sort of fact.
Yeah, I'd probably gonna
Everyone's
do
praying for my internet. Thank you. I'm praying for my internet too.
that. All right, so you want to move on to the
Go and
follower
attack
forum?
them. Yes, let's move on to the follower.
So let's
forum.
wrap it up. At the end of each show, we're going to be doing what we call follower forum, which is where any follower who has any type of topic or question for us will answer it at this time. So let's start off with the favorite food. Wasn't that one of the questions that we got? What's your favorite food?
That was one that I had to myself.
Okay.
I popped it on my Instagram story, and somebody asked, "What's your favorite food?" So, I mean, you can hit it up first, or
Yeah, I have a top 3 list. And
you have a
this
top
is,
3. Okay.
I have a top 3. I've had a top. Well, okay. I have top 4. Number 1 always stays the same. I feel like 2, 3, 4 like bounce. Well, 2 and 3 bounce around a lot. 4 doesn't. Anyway, number 1. We'll start with 4.
Yeah.
Number 4 is pizza. Number 3
Pizza.
is this is where 2 and 3 bounce around. So right now 3 is 3, but it could be 2. Next week. 3 is donuts.
Yeah.
2 is a good hamburger. I don't care if it's bison burger. I don't care. Just a good burger. Just give me. I've had ahi tuna burgers. I've had all sorts of burgers. Just give me a burger and some fries. And number 1, and this one always stays number 1. Not always, but it's been this way for a while.
Okay.
Sushi. I love sushi. God, so good.
Oh, sushi's so good.
So good. Oh my God.
Yeah, I agree.
So there's that. What about you, Kirk?
If we're doing top 3, my third is probably like falafel salad wraps. I absolutely love them. Like every day. I just little hummus, salad, put it in a tortilla wrap, and yeah, just that is just fantastic.
Interesting.
Number 2 is sushi. Sushi's
Yes.
fantastic. Like, I am all about the sushi life.
Yes.
It's
Bless
such
you.
fresh and I'm a vegetarian, so like
Wait.
it's literally just eating pure vegetables, like, and it's just really, it's just it's a great sort of
So
dish.
you don't do the
Oh,
meat
dishes.
in the sushi?
Sorry?
You don't do the fish in the sushi?
No, I don't. I don't eat fish. I don't eat meat. I just eat the vegetables. So I eat like the cucumber, maki, or stuff like that.
Oh. What about number 1?
Number 1 is like Indian food. I absolutely
Interesting.
love Indian food.
Can you
It's like
can you pick a dish though?
the best dish, a dish that I could eat
Uh-huh.
any day, because we have this thing in work, like, would you rather? There was like a would you rather. Would you rather eat the same meal that you love for the rest of your life, or would you rather numerous meals? Life. I would just eat the same meal that I love for the rest of my life. And they were like, "But why? Why would you eat?" And I was like, "A sagaloo curry." And I would have the samosas, the onion bhajis,
Oh my,
and
it's so
the little
interesting.
spring rolls on the thing. and then yogurt, cucumber, red onion, tomato dip on the side,
Wow.
just to keep things interesting.
Just keep it spicy. Wow.
Yeah, Indian
Interesting. I
is
didn't see that
definitely
going
my
that way.
go-to food. Yeah.
Wow.
I like cultural food,
Jeez. Oh, okay. Well,
and
there's
I eat with chopsticks.
yes, you have to eat with chopsticks. I eat sushi with chopsticks. You can't use chopsticks, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then our other
Some people I know
follower
eat
forum
sushi with
topic
chopsticks.
was cursing on stream, I believe. So my brief thing on that is I'm not against cursing on stream. I do curse sometimes, but it's less what I'm for and against and more about just kind of who you are. I wouldn't do anything in life excessively. So cursing or not cursing, I wouldn't do anything like pure. I wouldn't go never curse at all. I also wouldn't go curse all the time. I think for the most part, you're going to have viewers that like it and viewers that don't. And so you need to just kind of stick somewhere in the middle and just be yourself.
Curse where it's kind of acceptable, where like
Yeah.
it's kind of like, are they slow because, you know, like in a jump scare, say, or when something bad
Right.
happens to
Right.
them,
Right.
or yeah, you know, when there's times and places that there's times and places that you should swear. And, you know, it's kind of like that's how you're portraying yourself as well. So do you want to be that person who always swears? You got to think about the way you want to put yourself out there, like your image.
I just want to be me. I think because no matter what religion you believe in or food you like or games you enjoy, there's always going to be a group of people that says you're wrong. Always. There's
Yeah.
too many people. There's too many cultures. There's too many opinions. And so ultimately, I think it's less is cursing good or bad on stream, and it's more are you just being yourself? And if so, the right people will follow you, and the people who don't like it won't. And it's just kind of that simple. If you want to make it a mature stream, make it a mature stream. If you don't, don't. If you want to drink on stream, drink on stream. If you think that's bad, don't. I don't think it's a right or wrong. I just think it's a Senti says I curse all the time. Yeah, you do curse a fair amount, and that's fine because that's just kind of who you are. So.
I do curse a bit, but I try and replace my curse words. Like it's the thing. Like in real life as well. Like I do kind of a fair bit, so I'm just kind of like I need to tone it down a little bit. So I'm just like replacing words with other words that I could use instead.
Right.
That are not, you know, harsh to hear. You don't, you know. You kind of just turn in public. I don't know. I did that anyway. If somebody swears in front of me, I'm just like, oh my god. And I'm like, wait, I said.
Again, I just think it depends. Yeah. I don't think I don't really believe in right or wrongs for the most part. I do in terms of like don't kill somebody. That's an obvious one. But for the most part, I believe life is 98% gray. So my answer for questions like that is always going to be something that's gray, just because I can't tell other people how they should live their life, or I can't tell them what's right or wrong. Abortion right, abortion wrong. Is eating animals right? Is eating animals wrong? You know, it's not my place to tell other people what is right or wrong. I feel like that's God's place, and I'm not God. So, yeah, that's where I stand on the cursing thing. So anyway, I think that's it. I think that's it for today.
Yeah, that is all of our topics. That's all we had to talk.
That was great. So we'll be back on next week, shooting for the same time, right, Kirk? About 3:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30
my time.
England time.
Yeah, that's the time we're going to be aiming for.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll be doing this every week, guys. Be sure to reach out to us about Follower Forum. If there's any questions or any topics you'd like for us to discuss briefly, we're going to be doing those at the end of each stream. And just kind of be aware. Hit the Discord. We'll keep you updated on what's going on there. And yeah.